Hello everybody, welcome back to northwestern Italy for the final race of the day, MXGP Race 2, 30 minutes plus 2 laps of it coming to you live and direct from the FIM Motocross World Championship. We are nearing the end of our halfway mark. From here we head to Indonesia a week on Tuesday for 2 back-to-back rounds in Indonesia, but what a fantastic region this is here. Lake Majuro not too far away. And we've been coming here since 1966. We've just had another victory. So the MX2 winner just a moment ago, the 20th ever winner around here. Who will it be that adds another one in the MXGP category? The racetrack here, 1.73 kilometers long, just over a mile, 1.07 miles long. And we are bathed in glorious sunshine, as we should have been all over the weekend. And great atmosphere starting to build. Once more around this Majuro Park racetrack, you can see the MXGP riders on their sighting lap ahead of MXGP Race 2. It's drying out thick and fast now. The stones are starting to come to the surface. It's slick, it's unpredictable, in the same way that it was unpredictable yesterday in the Ram qualifying race where it was wet and slippery. From the finish line, down the start straight, through the first few corners to the top of the hill, that's the end of Sector 1. End of Sector 2, in the middle there, Sector 3, top left corner of your screen, and then from 3 to the finish line, your final sector. Jeremy Seewer was victorious here 12 months ago, or at the end of September, whenever it was. And will we have a new winner today? Well, we'll see our race highlights from race 1 in a few moments' time. And it was a fascinating contest, bit of a slow burner in the beginning, but once it got going, the last 10 minutes was all to play for between the top 3. Who crossed the line not very far apart, put it that way. 2 seconds between them. The smoke, Italian flares, really getting into the atmosphere here this weekend. Well, as the riders near the end of their sighting lap for MXGP, here is what happened in the first MXGP race. Here's our race highlight. Jeremy Seewer on the green Kawasaki right-hand side. He and Prado duked it out for the Foxhole shot, but it was Seewer for the second time this year, edging out the number 1, the championship, the defending champion. He tucked into the inside, but watch Gajser from 3rd to 2nd. Closed off the attack immediately. Herlings was there in 4th place, and from there we thought, game on. Calvin Valandren was there, number 10. He snuck up the inside of Herlings. He had Valentin Guillot around him. Guillot then lost 6th position as Brian Bogus came through at the end of the opening lap. Bogus on that Fantic. And then Herlings down the inside. He put that outside move on here, squeezed Valandren to the inside. That put him up into 4th position. Seewer then, he led, but before the end of that official first lap, Gajser found his way through. And watch what happens here to Seewer. Catches the handlebar with his bank on the bank. And he just goes for a rodeo ride. He falls down, picks himself up in 5th place. That's where he would stay. The 2 ship to cycle Honda riders got into each other, but it was Guillot who came home 9th. Borgmo, who went down, came home in 11th. Herlings thought he found his way past Prado for 2nd on more than one occasion, but the Spaniard was stubborn as he continued to chase down Gajser. And as we came down to the final run, this was how close the first 3 riders were. It was Gajser, Prado, Herlings who led the way. Gajser with his 4th win of the season. Valandren and Seewer rounded out the top 5. Last minute preps going on in front of the start gate then to make it fair for everybody. Just back blading the ruts, the other side of those Monster Energy start gates. But Lisa Leyland was down. She's had guests all over the place. No one of them was Brad Freeman, apparently.
What a day this has turned out to be. I'm on the start line for the final race of the day, MXGP Race 2, but we have a very special guest, as always, here in Majuro. We have 9-time Enduro World Champion, Brad Freeman. Brad, you're no stranger to motocross, but first, let's talk a little bit about your season. How's it going so far for you?
Yeah, so it's going really well, honestly. A little bit of a difficult start to the season. I got an injury to my hand, which required a little bit of time off. But currently 5th overall in the World Championship, and just enjoying the process, trying to get back to 100%. So yeah, enjoying it.
And of course, your guest of better, Ivo Monticelli. That was a tough first race for him, wasn't it? And it's his home GP.
Yeah, tough first race for Ivo. You know, shame obviously Ben's missing, so all the best to Ben. Obviously being out for the rest of the season, but no, Ivo, he's a great lad, and you know, we're all rooting for him for race 2.
Well, it's the final race for the day at MXGP. It's really pretty tight. The red plate keeps changing hands at the top of the standings. How do you see it panning out? I mean, the championship's long, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this season has been unbelievable. You know, the red plate changing hands between Gajser and Prado almost every round. You know, so you know, Gajser had a great race in the first race, but you know, you'd be betting that Prado's going to get a good start in this next one and be pushing him. You know, so it's been a great season. Nice to see Herlings back to 100% racing those guys, and honestly, I just can't wait to see it, be a spectator, and just enjoy it.
Have a good one. Thank you, Brad. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's time for the final race of the day, MXGP Race 2.
Championship leaders red plates change hands the last 5 Grand Prix, but after that first race, Tim Gajser, we'll look at the calendar first, we'll do the points in a moment. We are round 10, bottom left of your screen. We have a week off. We do the 2 back-to-backs in Indonesia, the same place in Lombok. Come back for a weekend off. 2 in a row, Czech Republic and Belgium and Flanders. Week off, and then 3 in a row, Sweden, the Netherlands and Switzerland. The week off, we go Turkey and China back-to-back. Week off, and then Spain at MXGP, Castilla-La Mancha, and the big one, Montreal and GFI Motocross Nations, Matterley Basin, 6th of October. What a weekend that will be. Riders making their way to the grid then. Here's how they line up. Tim Gajser on pole, lining up alongside Jeffrey Herlings, Brian Bogus, Jeremy Seawer, Calvin Villano and Jorge Prado, Valentin Guillaume, Mattia Guadagnini. And then Andrea Bonacorsi, Kevin Horgmo and Jan Panzer. Max Spies goes to line 12, head of Alvin Osland, Glenn Koldenoff, Cornelius Tondell and Ivo Monticelli in his home round for MRT Racing Beta. Isaac Gifting back from injury in 17th. Kevin Brumman, Giuseppe Trapepi, Benoit Paturel, then we've got Simone Prosi, Minos Guterri, Stefano Pizzuto, Mark Shu, and the rest of the guys. 27, 28 riders going to the line for race 2. As we head into MXGP Race 2, Tim Gajser, who had a 4-point lead over Jorge Prado at the start of the weekend, now finds himself 12 points clear of the Spaniard. Jeffrey Herlings is third, 62 points adrift. Roman Febvre is still injured. Calvin Villano and Jeremy Seawer looking to capitalise on the Frenchman's absence this weekend. Villano 4 behind the Frenchman, Seawer 11 behind Villano. Jorge Prado upped his pace mid-race to close in on Gajser. That brought Jeffrey Herlings with him. It was a fantastic shootout, wasn't it, between Gajser, Prado and Herlings, but it was Gajser who hung on. Jeffrey Herlings got a great start, but couldn't go with them immediately. He got passed, didn't he, on the opening lap by 10. Calvin Villano had to work hard to find his way into that 4th place and then 3rd place. And that was lap 2. By then he was a couple of seconds adrift of Prado. Top 3 played a bit of a waiting game until the last 10 minutes. Jeremy Seawer, he grabbed his foxhole shot, led, but fell from the lead down to 5th. Can he do better this time around? Can he get it on the podium this weekend? 2 top 5 finishes so far this year. Mattia Guadagnini had one of those races, 14th for the former Grand Prix winner here in MX2. Brian Bogus is riding fantastically at the moment, and he was 6th in race 1. What can the Fantic Factory MXGP rider do? He was ahead of his teammate Glenn Koldenoff, who was 7th. Andrea Bonacorsi was 8th. Valentin Guillaume was 9th. Benoit Paturel came home in 10th place. But all eyes over on the right-hand side of the gate. We've got a green flag there. Andy Summers, our technical steward there. And we've got a green flag here. The FIM race director, Mr. Ingo Parch, signals for the fly race in 15-second board to go up for the final time this weekend in northwestern Italy. The MXGP of Italy here at Maggiora Park, about an hour from Milan. A long run down to that first corner. Seawer was quickest to the first turn in race 1. Gajser, he gets a good reaction here. But it's Jorge Prado and, oh, Mattia Guadagnini goes for the ride around the outside, tries to pull it back, but it's Gajser. Oh, we got riders down! Domino effect, wow, haven't seen anything like that before. Bikes and bodies all over the place and through the next turn. We need some super slow-mo to dissect that, but there are some riders down there. Let's see who survived it, shall we, as they plunge down the elevator shaft here. Gajser leads, Herlings second, Seawood third, Gifting, Bogus, Guadagnini, Hawkmo, Paturel, Panzer, Shu. Where is Prado? Is down. Oh, and he is hobbling away. The 17 of Tondel is down as well, I believe. Massive crash through the first and second corners. Watch this here, Prado. Oh, they get squeezed here, look. Oh, Gio decides to ride. Oh, look at face planting there for the 17. Valandrin's down. And Bonacorsi. Dramatic start then to race 2. Prado picks himself up. Bent handlebars, damaged leg, he was limping away. It's going to be a tough race for him from here. Advantage, Tim Gajser at the top of the championship table for now. No fairy tale return for Jorge Prado, who won his MXGP World Championship here in September last year. Tim Gajser, who has won around here as well, of course, he leads the way. The first time of asking, Jeffrey Herlings there in second. 2 of the first 3 up and running this time around from the 3 riders that were first 3 in race 1, of course. Absolute carnage through that. Emilio Scuteri, he's still down as well. Looks like he's nursing a bit of a headache there. Not sure where he fell. Maybe he was one of the guys in that crash as well in the second part of the turn. But you can see how choppy it is on that downhill. Gajser leads though, Herlings second, Seawood third. Gifting, great start to the race for the rider back from injury for JK Racing Yamaha, the Italian team. Gifting of Sweden in 4th, Bogus 5th, Guadagnini 6th, Hawkmo 7th, Paturel 8th, Jan Panzer of Slovenia is in 9th, and then Juri Quarti in 10th. And Mark Schu, the German, for 67 Racing Husqvarna, he's in 11th place. Tell you what, he's going to get some elevation sickness. Is that far up the leaderboard? Then Monticelli is 12th, Koldenhoff is 13th, Zonta, Pizzuto, Brumman, Bonacorsi. The 2 Yamahas are back, and Prado is out. Prado cannot continue the race. Handlebars are bent, but is he in pain as well? Prado, wow, his first DNF of the season, and he's hobbling as well. He is in pain. They're just saying, go, go, just try and pick up points. The bike is destroyed. And he's going to rejoin a lap down behind these 2 here. You watch, he'll emerge. And they go by, first and second. And that'll be music to the ears of Gajser, who just sets the fastest lap at the end of that lap as well. Jorge Prado has been solid all season long, of course, the defending champion. No DNFs last year. He's out on track at the moment, but will he score in race 2? That is the question, because how important will those points be? For sure there will be riders that drop out, and that's what the team was saying. Go and get a point. That point could be crucial at the end of the championship. It's a 20-round series, don't forget. Kevin Hawkmo's down. And that's on the uphill into turn 4. Oh, tell you what, off the side of the track there. Frustrated with himself. See how steep it is there as well. Hawkmo then emerges back on track. All eyes on the battle here between Gajser and Herlings. Gap hovering around 1.8 at the moment. Gajser in control. Took a while for Herlings to warm up in race 1, but when he did, he closed in on Prado. Prado got pushed up towards Gajser. We had a three-way battle for the lead. Will we get a similar thing here between those two, who are already 3.3 clear of Siwa? Here's Guadagnini. He is in 6th place. Benoit Paturel just behind him, so the Nissan Husqvarna and the Debat Yamaha. He was part of that French Motocross Nations winning team here. Was Benoit Paturel. Back in 2016, Thorland and Fevre joined him on the podium that weekend. So Benoit Paturel, good memories in this place. Number 6, Ivo Monticelli and Glenn Koldenoff on the 259. These two fighting over 10th place. The MRT Racing beta rider in blue. In that 10th, Koldenoff behind him. Verlanderen, who's picked himself up off the deck. He is in 12th position. Where is Bonacorsi? Bonacorsi 15th, another of the riders, the Yamaha riders that went down at the start. But the biggest casualty was Jorge Prado, who's circulating in 24th. He's already a lap down though, don't forget. Bonacorsi up the inside. Finds his way past Simone Crossi. Or as Stefano Pizzuto, the 878. But the distinctive police jersey of Bonacorsi there on that Monster Energy Yamaha. As he goes through that left-hander here, the 132. 6 rider in MXGP, of course. Going down hard in that sort of between turn 1 and turn 2. Him and his teammate, he's wearing a GoPro there as well, so we will have some great images of that, I'm sure, in our Behind the Gate program. But with 22.5 to go, Gajser, Herlings, Siwa, Gifting and Bogus, your top 5. Filippo Zonta on the 200 on the left. Andrea Bonacorsi making his way past his fellow Italian sooner rather than later. That'll be for 13th place. Bonacorsi 8th in race 1. Bonacorsi gets squeezed to the inside here as they re-emerge to start their 4th lap. 42 seconds down on the leader after his crash here, Bonacorsi. Cornelius Tondel was in there. So too Calvin Verlanderen, Jorge Prado, Giuseppe Trepepi, even Max Spies, I believe, was probably in there as well. Ivo Monticelli. And Yuri Quarti. Yuri Quarti gets shoved wide there as Monticelli moves into 9th place. Glenn Koldenoff getting ready to go round as well. The 337 looks across and thinks, I'm a little bit out of my depth here, perhaps. And Verlanderen closing in as well, as he looks to score as many points as possible. Quarti goes to the inside. He'll look across and see the factory Yamaha go round the outside of him. May as well just let him have it. Calvin Verlanderen then. Doesn't look like there are any issues here. But here is Verlanderen. Verlanderen going after the 259. These two hit the line now. Monticelli 9, Koldenoff 10, Verlanderen 11, then Quarti, and then Bonacorsi. 20 minutes to go. Another look at this first start. Look at this here. Gajser was there. Valentin Guillot squeezed between Prado and Siwa. He then went down. He gets run over. But watch Cornelius Tondel. Goldenoff in there as well. Spies. And a few others. Absolute carnage. Goldenoff, Valandren, Bonacorsi. So this is also a good recovery for Glenn Goldenoff on the 259. Another victim of that first turn, Malay. So we're on lap 5. Gajser only 2 seconds clear of Herlings at the moment, 1.9 if you want to be exact. Calvin Valandren, Glenn Goldenoff, Andrea Bonacorsi lucky to pick themselves up. Jorge Prado still circulating in 24th position, hoping to pick up a point if he can. He came in at the end of that first lap, rode into the pit lane area, looked like he was about to throw in the towel, hobbled off of his bike. The team said, just go back out. So he did, and here he is, getting ready to park it again. Jorge Prado. A GP to forget here in Italy this time around. Valandren closing in on Goldenoff. Goldenoff closing in on the Italian Ivo Monticelli. Does not know which way to look, does he? Goldenoff was already committed to the outside. Valandren had already made his mind up as well, so 3 riders into that one lane, and Prado rides off. His GP is over. A massive dent in the championship at the halfway stage for the defending champion. Major mistake in the background there for Goldenoff. For Valandren. Goldenoff continues to pursue the 128 of Monticelli. Will he find his way past at the end of the hill here? Keeping an eye on this battle here, but just peered up at the timing screen there. 1.4 between Gajser and Herlings. Herlings getting closer to the Slovenian. Oh, Goldenoff there just bouncing off the berm. How much more of this can Monticelli take? He's circulating in 9th place. He's about 8.8 seconds away from Jan Panzer. Panzer having a fantastic ride, the Slovenian, on that very, very privateer KTM of his. Yet to finish in the top 10. He's only been there once, 9th in race 1 in Portugal. Muddy conditions. Here he is, 8th in dry conditions in Italy. The Temjet JP253 rider. Whereas Bonacorsi, he's behind Quarti at the moment. Yuri Quarti, Bonacorsi in 13th. So hasn't able to match the pace of these two. Glenn Goldenoff and Calvin Valandren, who went down in that first turn. Second turn, let's say, because it was more on the approach to turn 2, wasn't it? But Prado is out of the race. Meanwhile, Tim Gajser, 1.7 seconds clear at the split at the top of the hill a moment ago. Looking a little bit more comfortable in this race. He said he rode tight in the midpoint of the race in the first outing. Then back markers, and then poor line choice, all of those kind of things. Herlings dealing with the back marker here. Stays like this with Gajser winning the race. He will move to 514 points. Prado will stay on 477. Yeah, 37 points between those two. And of course, Jeffrey Herlings, he had that DNF in Portugal, didn't he? When he was chasing Gajser for the race win. He was in 2nd position at the time. When you talk to Jeffrey Herlings, he will look at it as, well, could have been a 25-point, but it was definitely at least a 22-point loss. And a dent in his championship as well. Oh, Herlings landing heavily there. Brave to be landing that far out and all the deep stuff, but he's using a lot of the racetrack here, isn't he? Desperate to go after Gajser. 2.2 the gap now. But Herlings was quicker marginally that time around. 150.2 for Gajser, 49.9. Herlings, watch this here. That is deep slot there. He was lucky to ride through that, no problem. If you'd have done that in race 1, it might not have ended so well. But Tim Gajser keeping Herlings right back there where he wants him at the moment. The HRC man looking at a potential 5th race win of the season. So Gajser then, 14.5 minutes plus 2 to go, continues to lead from Herlings. The gap still hovering at 2 seconds.
So we just saw our reigning MXGP World Champion Jorge Prado retire from the race. I just spoke to the team manager, Davide Di Carli. Originally the plan was for him to stay out, try and get as much points as possible, but what actually happened was he was landed on when he was down and he's got some pain in his knee. They're going to get it checked out. They've got a week to recover before Indonesia, but it's a tough day for the Red Bull Gas.
And of course, the what you don't realise is, we get out of Italy tonight. The support vehicles will head north to their team bases, or south if you're a little bit further south of here. But when you talk of Holland, Belgium as the epicentre, they have to get the crates packed to be shipped out on Tuesday to Indonesia for that 2-week back-to-back run in Lombok. And so at the moment, if it's a serious thing, does that crate even go, yes or no? Anyway, here's Isaac Gifting. He's in 4th. Bogus behind him in 5th position. So the JK Racing Yamaha rider against the factory Fantic of Bogus. And a mistake there for Gifting. Bogus goes by. Bogus now up in the 4th. Gifting, clutch in, back brake on, big panic rev, coming back for more though. Bar to bar, side to side. And he does regain that 4th place. Goes to the outside, thinks Bogus is there. Guess what? He outfoxed himself. Bogus nips to the inside, retakes that 4th place right on the finish line. Bogus eyeing up 4th overall. Siwa eyeing up his first podium of the season at the moment. Brian Bogus and Isaac Gifting just having a fantastic battle here for 4th position. Gifting was in 4th. Brian Bogus caught him, passed him once. Gifting replied with a repass. And then just as they hit the line, Bogus snuck through on the inside to grab that 4th place on that Fantic factory machine. Here is Isaac Gifting on that JK Yamaha. Again, a satellite Yamaha team, very much a private deal. Top of the hill, white and blue. Mattia Guadagnini, 101 on the Nissan Husqvarna. He is in 6th place. The guy behind him in black here on the Debats Yamaha, Benoit Pacharel. And then Monticelli dropping downhill. He's got Calvin Balarin behind him on the number 10, who's found his way past Glenn Coldenhoff. Balarin now 10th, Coldenhoff 11th. Monticelli still hanging on to that 9th for MRT Racing Beta. Coming towards us now, the 128. Tough first race for Monticelli. Just picking up 2 points for 19th, but just shows what a good start can make, or what a difference a good start can make. But he's under pressure once again, and so too is Tim Gajser. Gajser under pressure from Herlings. We are on lap 10. Herlings has dug deep, just like he did in race 1, and he's got the Slovenian right there in his line of sight, right there in his wheel tracks. Oh, mistake! Oh, he had a Cooper Webb moment. How did he stay on there, Jeffrey Herlings? Heart in the mouth for the bullet. Came in too hot, the front got away from him, caught the tough block. Watch this here, goes inside, folded the front, then he got away from him, hit the tough block, somehow stayed up, didn't go through the front door. He lives to survive another lap, does Jeffrey Herlings. He just set the fastest lap of the race as well, a 1:49.3 compared to a 50.1. All of a sudden the gap back out to 2.2 as a result of that mistake, but the confidence is there, belief is there. Can he strike again in the next 10 minutes plus 2 laps? He's obviously got some good line choice out there, but you cannot give Tim Gajser that kind of advantage. Herlings going past pit lane now. Board signals will probably just say, just head, calm down, relax, whatever it says, breathe. 2.6 the gap though. Gajser escaping once again at the head of the field. Inside line choice there for Jeffrey Herlings. Through the rollers, through the waves. Hogmo is up to 17th place, by the way, after his moments at the top of this hill earlier on in the race. Get a handful of more riders over the line, shall we? And we'll give you a top 10. The most updated top 10. That is a heck of a descent there. You just get to the edge and it falls away so steep. And Gajser extending his advantage as well. 3 seconds now over Herlings. Jeremy Seewer eyeing up his first podium of the season, and his first for Kawasaki Racing Team. Steady away for him. He was 5th in race 1. He's currently 3rd in race 2. He's got 3 points breathing room as well over Brian Bogers. Brian Bogers currently 4th, but 14 seconds behind him. Seewer's last podium was back-to-back podiums. He was the winner here last year at the penultimate round, 2nd overall at Matterley Base in Great Britain. But we're round 10 of 2024, and he's eyeing up his first podium of the season. Monticelli here, under attack once again from Glenn Koldenoff. Monticelli hoping for a top 10 finish here, at the very least, in this race. A couple of 13th place finishes there at the start of the year. In Argentina, he got a 14th and a 13th in Spain. It's been up and down since then. There's been a few zeros in there. But he would love a top 10 finish here if he can get it. 8 minutes to go, thereabouts. Good ride this from the king of the mountains, Ivo Monticelli. So Koldenoff's going to have to dig deep. Just to get back on terms with the Italian. Gajser, 2.9 clear of Herlings at the moment, so Gajser is just being chipped away at here and there. Down to 2.4. Has Herlings bitten off more than he can chew, though. That mistake didn't help on the horseshoe a couple of laps ago when he was all over the back of the race leader. Gifting is 5th. He's under pressure from Guadagnini, about a half a second between those two fighting over 5th. But here's your race leader, Tim Gajser, picking his lines methodically there out of that right-hander. We can't see how deep those holes are, but by now they are very square-edged. And just as Herlings looked like he was closing in, the gap back out at 3.2 once more. And he goes down! Gajser throws away the lead. A gift for Herlings. Was he pushing too hard? Herlings, now your new leader. Watch this here. Does he fold the front? Yes, he does. Tips over. Could have landed awkwardly on that shoulder. Herlings was right there, though. They're all smiles down there, but inside they're thinking, wow, just an unfortunate error. He will still take the overall victory, though, because a first and a second, 25 and 22, will give him 47 points. Herlings, who was 3rd in race 1 with 20 points and a potential race win with 25, gives him 45. And they've got 31 seconds over Jeremy Seewer, or Tim Gajser has anyway, who's there in 3rd, having a very, very lonely ride. Cue music. So Jeffrey Herlings then capitalizes on a Gajser mistake. Gajser solid, but he was being caught earlier on by Jeffrey Herlings, who then made his own mistake, but fortunate to stay on two wheels. Then it was Gajser's turn to make a slight mistake, but this one put him on his ear, and it's cost him the race lead, not the overall Grand Prix classification. But Monticelli still having a fantastic ride. He's still there in 10th. Verlanderen has dropped down to 9th. Why is that? What's happened to Calvin Verlanderen? Monticelli doing all he can to keep the Dutchman behind him, but with just over 4 minutes to go. Herlings may be leading the race, but it's Gajser who's in control of the top step of the podium. So Herlings leads, Gajser second, Seawer third, Bogus fourth, Gifting is in fifth, Guadagnini sixth, Patrell 7, Panzer 8, Verlanderen 9, Monticelli 10, then Koldenoff, Bonacorsi and Gio. Yuri Quarti and Kevin Brumman, the 67, racing Husqvarna. It's warm, the track is hard, it's tough on the hands at this stage, because those hard edges, those downhills as well, steeper than they look. There's a lot going on through the palms of your hands, through the handlebars. Every time you hit those edges as well. Most riders' hands are pretty much seasoned, you know, sort of tough. But when you've not had a warm race for a while, which that's what it seems like, you know, blisters and that kind of thing might just creep into some riders, cause its own problems as well. But Ivo Monticelli hanging in there for the Italian fans. Great to see him there as well, isn't it? And good for Beta as well. Anyway, Verlanderen is back up to 8th. He's found his way past Jan Panzer, and he's going after Benoit Paturel. And he's on the charge. Paturel, no goggles, but Verlanderen doesn't worry about that. Doesn't want to have the Frenchman come back around him. Parks him to the outside and says, you know what, I'll take that 7th place if you don't mind. Jan Panzer closing in as well. So Paturel, just wonder, you know, the reason to throw away goggles is either you're roosted as Koldenoff has another look at the inside of Monticelli, who definitely knows the Dutchman is there now. But a reason to throw away goggles, sometimes you are out of tear-offs and you can't see through. Sometimes, you know, you're just struggling to breathe and things like that. That extra cool air coming through is another reason, but sometimes landing heavily. And a mistake there from Monticelli, and Koldenoff does go through. Glenn Koldenoff then just picks off Ivo Monticelli, who's gallantly hung on for that 10th position for much of the race. Koldenoff now 10th, Monticelli into 11th. And it was just a simple error coming out of the right-hander a moment ago. But going back to the Benoit Paturel thing, sometimes you throw your goggles off just because heavy landing, sweat into the inside of the lens. That's it, just makes visibility very difficult. But he was easy picking in the end for Calvin Verlanderen as he moved into 7th, Paturel down at 8th, Koldenoff up to 10th, Monticelli here down to 11th place. Jeffrey Herlings now 8.1 clear of Tim Gajser after Gajser's mistake, of course. Gajser, though, will stay on the top step of the podium. I'm sure the team would have told him that. I'm sure Gajser knows that himself. But Glenn Koldenoff here, one of the riders, one of the many riders that went down between turn 1 and turn 2 at the start of the race, including Jorge Prado, who's since retired from the race. Calvin Verlanderen, Andrea Bonacorsi, Max Spies, Giuseppe Trampepi, Cornelius Tondel had a big impact as well. Jeremy Seawer, third in the race, eyeing up his first podium of the season for Kawasaki Racing Team. A little bit of good news for Antti Pirinen and the squad there before they embark for Indonesia, because with Roman Fevre out and dropping down the leaderboard to 6th place as it stands right now, they can go there knowing that Jeremy Seewer is just coming good, hopefully, in the second half of the season. Andrea Bonacorsi getting lapped there. He is in 12th place. Herlings going by. 3 laps to go. 2-lap board will go out next time around. Here's Tim Gajser throwing away just that simple error. Just tucked the front, got him off balance. Flat corner, he would have saved it, but it was an uphill, severe camber from outside to inside. Couldn't do anything about it. But he will come away from here, having extended his lead over Jorge Prado, who at the moment we don't know the status. Davide De Carli said he hurt his knee when he got landed on. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. So, if you missed it earlier, here's what happened at the start then, which is why Jorge Prado's out. Prado got a good jump, but it was what happened after that, as he ran slightly wide. Gajser snuck up the inside and grabbed the foxhole shot. Then Seewer, Gio, came together into number 1, Jorge Prado. He goes down here. There's a domino effect that takes out Gio. Prado, Gifting survived. But then look at this. The 2 Yamahas go down. Verlanderen, Bonacorsi, Tondel. Koldenhoff is in there on the 259. I think Spies and Trepepi were in there as well. Picked himself up, came in, got off the bike. They said, get back on your bike. Went out, pulled out a couple of laps later. So they'll get him checked out before they go to Indonesia. Hopefully he will be there, Jorge Prado. Because Tim Gajser now, a 34-point advantage at the top of the championship. If he stays where he is, and that is a massive gain because he was 4 points clear of Prado heading into this weekend. And a mistake like that just shows how costly it can be at the top of the championship. Herlings doubling his way down now into there. Wasn't always possible throughout the day. Not the most difficult jump, but given the conditions, not exactly ideal. Look at the ruts there and the shadows on the takeoff. The sun behind the riders at that point. Downhill double, clean face. Then just pre-jumping over that. Verlanderen has found his way into 6th place now. He's found his way past Guadagnini. One lap board being readied there on the right-hand side of the finish line for Jeffrey Herlings. It'll be a potential race win, but it's going to be Tim Gajser who will stand on the top step of the podium as it stands right now. Gajser getting ready to cross the line any moment now, and he does so, 10 seconds down. But he's in a good position at the moment, isn't he? In that his closest rival coming into this weekend, having that issue, just like Gajser did just there, just coming up to a momentarily pause. But Prado just having that issue, and that's helped settle everything down where there's a bit of breathing space. So Gajser in cruise mode after that mistake. Doesn't need to push. Knows the Grand Prix is in his pocket. Championship lead has been extended. He'll know that Jorge Prado is out of the race. It's probably already worked out that going into this race he had a 12-point advantage. He's now just counting down the turns, the lap, the final lap here in Italy. Tim Gajser, 2 victories around here back in 2015 in his MX2 title winning season. And again in 2022 in MXGP, Jeffrey Herlings, a 3-time winner around here, will not add to his wins here in Maggiora. He wins race 2 though. And his season is just starting to come good as well. But Tim Gajser celebrating as he goes by. He crosses the line here to win for the 3rd time in Maggiora Park. And he extends his lead at the top of the championship. Everybody all smiles down there. Roger Harvey, Massimo Castelli, and the boss man himself, Giacomo Garibaldi. Jeremy Seewer is going to be on the podium for the first time. He was victorious here last year, so back-to-back podiums at this Italian round for Jeremy Seewer. And a much-needed podium for Kawasaki and Jeremy Seewer here in Italy this weekend. A quiet ride for the Swiss, but he's on the podium. But it's Gajser, Herlings and Seewer, your overall podium here in Italy, round 10. A bit of a quieter race then, shall we say, after the carnage through the first turn on the opening lap or two that really sort of blew this championship wide open. But Jeffrey Herlings comes away with a race win. Gajser 2nd, Seewer 3rd. The same 3 riders in the podium, but it's Gajser, Herlings and Seewer. Bogus 4th in race 2 from Valandren, who found his way past Gifting on the final lap with his fastest lap of the race. So he'll be pleased with that, given the state of where his race began. Here's Lisa with Tim.
Tim Gajser, congratulations, 2nd overall of the season for you. Okay, yes, you lost the lead in that 2nd race, but today was a fantastic day for your championship.
It was good. I mean, I'm super happy, you know, especially with the riding, with the starts. We did a good weekend. Just shame of that crash, you know. I thought that I have everything under control, but then just little mistake and just lost the front, and Jeffrey went by. But anyway, you know, winning a GP here, it's almost like a home GP for me, and also for the team is a home GP. So really happy. Huge thank you to all my team, everybody around me. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Tim.
Italian team, Garibaldi, Team HRC. Like a home round for Tim Gajser, but very much a home round for a lot of the staff that work in that team as well. Tim Gajser with a 1st and a 2nd. As he said, a shame for that mistake, but he still gets the job done here in Italy. He now leaves here to the flyaway races in Indonesia with a 34-point advantage over Jorge Prado, who failed to finish race 2. Jeffrey Herlings wins race 2 then for Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. Tim Gajser, Team HRC, then Seewer Kawasaki Racing Team. Bogus for Fantic Factory Racing. Valandren and Gifting, Guadagnini and Panzer. Paturel coming home in 9th place. Glenn Koldenoff in 10. But Herlings, Gajser, Seewer, Bogus, Valandren, your top 5 in that first race. Valandren finding his way past Gifting on the final lap with his best lap of the race. And when you consider where he came from at the first turn, he was one of the many guys that went down. Valandren coming back to 5th position. That says a lot about his character as well. He was only 1.6 behind Bogus in the end, so it could have been 4th place finish for the Montrenese Yamaha rider. A lot of guys to support here this weekend. Gajser takes the top step of the podium with a win in a 2nd. Herlings a 3-1, missing out by 2 points. Jeremy Seewer 3rd, the first podium of his Kawasaki racing career, his first since the final round of 2023 as well. Valandren 4th for the 3rd time this year. Bogus 5th ahead of his teammate Glenn Koldenoff. Paturel 7th overall for the Frenchman, one better than his 8th 2 rounds ago in Germany. Bonacorsi and Prado rounding out the top 10. Of course, Prado Could have been so much different for him had he finished the race. But we'll see from the highlights how that panned out if you've not already seen it. Gajser then on 5.11, Prado 4.77, 34 between those two. Herlings 37 behind the Spaniard, and then Valandren up to 4th, Sear up to 5th, as predicted at the start of the weekend, at the absence of Roman Fevre. Koldenhoff and Jonas ran out the top 8. Bogas up to 9th, and Hogmo loses 9th to the Fantic rider. Manufacturer's classification. Honda continued to lead the way. There's no change there, with Gas second from KTM, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Fantic, Beta and Husqvarna. Talking of Beta, what a great ride Ivo Monticelli had, of course. Held on to 10th for so long, but in the end it was 11th for the MRT Beta rider at home here in Italy. This is where the fans make their way down the hill, onto the track, to the podium, walk the circuit as well, and see exactly what it is the rider's been up to. But the foxhole shot right at the start of the race, it all went a bit wrong after that, didn't it? Tim Gajser, though, picking up a black plate for the 2nd time this year. Hasn't had one since race 1, Portugal. It's Prado who dominates that classification, 11 for him. The MXGP podium then, be a typical Italian affair. A lot of Slovenian flags there, a lot of Swiss flags as well. Jeremy Seewer, 3rd overall at the MXGP of Italy, finally gets his podium for Kawasaki Racing Team. His 1st of the season. Steve Guttridge there in the middle. A few of the top brass here as well this weekend. Much needed for the Smurf. Jeffrey Herlings, 2nd overall, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. 3rd in race 1, 2nd in race 2. But Tim Gajser, his 3rd victory here in Maggiora for Team HRC and Honda, with a 1st and a 2nd. Big weekend for Team Garibaldi and HRC, and of course Tim Gajser as well. Arrived here 4 points clear of Jorge Prado at the start of the weekend. Leaves here 34 clear of the Spaniard, who was unfortunate to go down at the start of race 2. Giacomo Garibaldi and his son up there on the podium as well. Time for the trophies though. Dr. Armando Sponga, the FMI Federal Council, handing the 3rd place trophy to Jeremy Seewer. Of course, the M, the logo of the Maggiora Park venue. Seewer is behind there somewhere. Francesco Bozzola, Maggiora Park Motor Club president, doing the honours, handing the 2nd place trophy to Red Bull KTM's Jeffrey Herlings, 2nd overall for him this weekend. Stefano Avendero, Maggiora Park CEO, hands the winner's trophy to Tim Gajser and Team HRC. Tim Gajser now with his 47th career victory. The Maggiora Mayor, Roberto Balzano, getting ready to hand the winner's trophy to Giacomo Garibaldi. Team trophy, of course. Another one for the cabinet. For everybody there. Very much Italian at heart, that crew. Antonio Alia Portella, the FIM CMS director, handing the championship leader's red plate to Tim Gajser. He arrived with it in red. He leaves with it in red. He will show up in Indonesia with a 34-point advantage over Jorge Prado. Tim Gajser is Army of Slovenian Fans, the national anthem of Slovenia. National anthem next for Japan. And Honda joining us here this weekend. Tim Gajser wins the MXGP of Italy here at Maggiora Park. He does so with a first and a second. Jeffrey Herlings second overall with a third and a first. Jeremy Seewer on the podium in third for the first time this year for Kawasaki Racing Team as well. His first with his new team. Next stop, Indonesia. We'll talk to the top three in a couple of moments. Before that, though, the highlights from that second MXGP race. It was an explosive start to MXGP Race 2. Quite literally, Gajser got up to the inside. Guadagnini tried to come in from the outside. He almost over the bars into the crowd. But watch what happens next. Seewer, Prado coming together. And it was just a body of bikes there. The JWR Honda of Arvid Osland was up there as well, but he didn't go down. He just ran into the back of everything. But Prado taken out. So too the 17 of Cornelius Tondale. Both the Yamahas of Bonaccorsi and Valarum were in there as well. Guillot went down as well. It was absolute carnage. Up front though, Gajser led Herlings as Prado came in holding that left knee. Thought about retiring. The team told him to go back out. He did for a couple of laps and then did retire. Bogas down the inside of Gifting to move into fourth on lap 9, which is where he would finish. How did Herlings survive this? He was challenging Gajser for the lead. He stayed up, and a lap later, Gajser made his own mistake. He tipped over. Herlings went through. Look, didn't change the overall classification though. Kevin Valarum, one of the riders who went down in the first turn, he started to make inroads after a mistake later on in the race as well. Down the inside of Benoit Paturel to move into 7th. Eventually found his way past Gifting for 5th on the final lap. Herlings was victorious in the race. 11 seconds clear of Tim Gajser. Seewer crossed the line in 3rd. And Tim Gajser, with a first and a second, was your overall winner.
Tim Gajser, congratulations. A first and a second. You got your second overall of the season. Good starts. You were solid. You were consistent. Yeah, you made a mistake, but if you look at the bigger picture, it was a good weekend. Yeah, it was a good weekend. You know, already yesterday I felt really good on the track. The track was a bit more rougher and also more technical. You know, today the track was, the crew make a great job, you know, because how much water, how much rain we have during the night was incredible. That today, now in the second race, was already dusty. But it was quite flat, you know, it was not easy to make a difference. But anyway, we had a great racing, you know, 2 good motos. Good start, so I'm super happy, and yeah, really looking forward to going to Indonesia now, back-to-back races there. So like I said before, huge thank you to all the team. We are working so hard, always improving the bike, you know, trying to make the bike even better all the time. So huge thank you to them, everybody around me, all the fans that travel here, you know, some Slovenian fans I saw. So thank you very much, guys. Thanks, Tim. Second overall today we have Jeffrey Herlings. Jeffrey, race 1, I guess it took you a while to warm up. Race 2, you really dug deep, you threw everything at Tim, and you were right where you needed to be when he made his mistake.
Yeah, definitely. I felt I had the speed, both motors to win. You could see it was the first motor, but today, as you could see, there was barely any passing the track. Maybe due to the rain, it was almost impossible to pass, so it was quite painful, all the stone hits I got. First from Prado, motor 1, second motor from Tim, and I had the speed to pass it, just couldn't make it happen. Just second motor was a bit lucky with Tim crashing, because the pass was very difficult. But end of the day, 3-1 for second overall, I'll take it. So up to Indonesia.
Thank you. Third overall, we have Jeremy Seewer. Jeremy, finally I get to speak to you after the race. I know that first race was tough for you. Are you okay after that? And secondly, you seemed a lot stronger and more solid in that second race. Tell us about your thoughts right now.
I mean, yeah, I will take it, you know, to be on the box. Sure, there was a bit of luck in that second motor with Jorge. I don't know what really happened. Just like, I didn't get the best start, but then into the second corner, somebody hit us from behind like massive. I have to see the footage what happened, but I was just P3 solid, and I was like, bam, like, ooh, wow. Lucky I stayed up, and I could finally enjoy riding a bit, you know. I didn't push the limits because the track was pretty sketchy, but I just enjoyed riding my bike, and that's what counts. And now I'm here on the podium a bit by luck, but still, like, I think after the year I had, it feels strange to say, but I think I do deserve it somehow, you know. So I will take it and keep digging to close the gap to the first guys, you know.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Much needed podium for Jeremy Seewer and Kawasaki Racing Team here this weekend. Then third overall for the Swiss Smurf. And yeah, he will want to look back at the footage because there were 3 riders going into that first turn, second turn, him, Valentin Guillot, Jorge Prado. He was fortunate to stay up on 2 wheels and bring it home. 5th in race 1, 3rd in race 2, Jeremy Seewer, 3rd overall. Jeffrey Herlings battered from Stone Roost off the back of Prado's bike in race 1 and the Honda of Tim Gajser in race 2, but capitalising on a mistake of Gajser because, as he said, it would have been difficult to make the pass. The 3-1 for Herlings for 2nd overall. Tim Gajser, a win and a second, could have so easily been back-to-back wins this weekend, but he joins Jeffrey Herlings at the top of the win list here. 3 wins apiece around this Maggiora circuit. Tim Gajser wins the MXGP of Italy at Maggiora Park. And look what it means to the team down there as well in front of the podium. And we are out of time, folks. We take a week off and we re-emerge in Indonesia in 2 weeks' time. The MXGP of West Nusa Tenggara. We'll see you then from Lombok. Bye for now.